So if I absolutely had to get jacked in 2 to 3 months, I would do exactly this. And in this video, I want to break down literally, and I mean literally step by step, how to get jacked in those 2 or 3 months. No, it's not a clickbait. No, I will not tell you to just like 3 tips or whatever. I will literally tell you step by step, like week by week. So if you follow along, I don't know how long this is going to take, by the way. So if your attention is just like all over the place, you can just leave this video. But if you can follow along and do as I said, you will get there. Maybe not in 2 or 3 months, but eventually you will get there because genetics are also the big play and the big role in building muscle. So if you're somebody who doesn't have a bunch of time in the gym because of business, or you don't know how to build muscle, you want to get jacked, but you don't know how, or maybe you're just somebody who wants to get there as fast as humanly possible, shortcut everything, this is a video for you, and I'll break down step by step how to get there, plus a workout plan you can follow along. Now, the cool thing is there is no selling alpha male getting girls course. It's literally for free if you just watch this video. So pay attention because people would actually pay for this shit. Like people genuinely pay for this shit. You get coaching from a guy 2 or 3 months for $2,000. I'm doing this for free. So before we start, starting point, you need 4 things. Attention span, gym membership if you don't have it, buy it afterwards, persistence and will to learn, and 46 chromosomes, okay? This is everything you need. So, let me just tell you who I am and then get in the whole meat of this video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Žarko and I help busy entrepreneurs, CEOs get jacked, improve their health, energy, performance, so they can make more money and have better businesses. And in past 4 years, I have tried a bunch of workouts, different diets. I couldn't do a pull-up, I wasn't able to do 2 push-ups, and now I'm jacked. So you can see that I'm actually legit. I mean, you can see on this camera, I'm fucking jacked. I know what I'm talking about. So I said this. Also, before we start, it's ideally you want to bulk. Okay, so I didn't mention this in the beginning because I thought, or I think this is just going to be a common sense. But if you're somebody who wants to build more muscle in least amount of time possible, bulking is the single-handedly the fastest way. Now, will you have to do cut afterwards? Yes, most likely, but you will get jacked really fucking fast, even if you're chubby, by the way. So even if you have fat, you should still bulk. And if you don't know how to bulk, you can just go ahead and watch my video. It's fucking amazing, by the way. So week 1, depending on when you're starting, you wanna actually just build a habit. Like week 1 is, it's literally just building a habit. If you have a habit, then I would say just perfect the form, perfect everything that you need to be able to scale it up. Like imagine building a business and you have a ground zero, a base. You need to make sure base is fucking amazing, which means habit, which means showing up, which means form. It all has to be amazing, okay? If these things are not amazing, then you will fuck it up, okay? Week 1, like your mentality is just, I'm showing up, I'm doing whatever I want to do. The point is just to be there. The point is literally just to build a habit. Depending on when you start, of course. If you have a habit, then develop form, develop these kind of other kind of things. Your habit and everything you need to just later fucking skyrocket this shit, okay? But week 1 is really fucking important. And I will give you just a couple of mindsets that I also, by the way, teach people that I coach, which is so insane. But yeah, first mindset, doing the work when you don't feel like it. Fucking important. Next, 5-minute suck. Now, the reason why I call it 5-minute suck is because first 5 minutes of anything sucks. Okay, they really suck. Next one, start small. You have to be able to start small because if you start big, you will just not stick with it. Trust me, I tried it millions of times to just do something and just skip like 10 fucking logs and do something completely stupid, and it never works. And the reason is because it's hard. It's hard to build a full ass routine in the beginning. But if you just chunk it down, to edible pieces every single day, like for example, reading a book, how I read books at least, which, you know, you just, let's say you want to read for 7 days or you want to read a book per week, you just say, okay, this book has 210 pages. I'm going to read every single day 30 pages to get to 7 days per week reading a book. You just literally break it down to edible pieces every single day. Next, you versus you. Pretty big, pretty important. You're the only person who is going to stop you from achieving what you want. Next, you're not suffering, you're taking care of yourself. Pretty big one for people, and I know I'm speaking fast because I just want to get away from these kinds of things because later we have much more important, much more interesting things. Next one, you're not suffering, you're taking care of yourself. So it means that if you think you're suffering, you're actually taking care of yourself because you're building muscle. Like what you're doing right now, you think it's suffering, but you're just helping your future self, if that makes sense. Okay, so if I'm building muscle, if I'm getting bigger and stronger, I'm helping myself use and have ability to use these muscles in the future. Okay, next. It doesn't get worse than this. In the beginning, it's the worst, it's hard, but you can push through it, okay? You can manage to fucking get through this shit. Next, make it fun. If you don't make it fun, you will just not stick to it. I'm telling you right now, like it sounds stupid, simple, and easy. People don't fucking do it because they think, oh, you should just be a Sigma male and just grind, which I'm telling you right now, it isn't the truth. People who actually build the most muscle, people who have fun, who are consistent, and who know what the fuck they're doing, okay? Who have good basics. And next, of course, master the basics, which are form, eccentric focus, what else? Deep stretch, RP of 9 out of 10, so pretty hard workouts, and form, long length partial reps maybe, that's pretty much it. Until you master the exercise you pick and showing up in general, don't even move on to the next week because it's really fucking important you get this thing right. You will know when you get this thing right because you will show up, you will know how to do a form or how to do exercise without watching a video. You will know what you're doing, okay? And also, one more important thing, don't push yourself to big intensity because I'm telling you right now, you are going to fuck yourself over if you do this shit. Like if you train hard in the beginning, first one, I would even say 2 weeks. But 2 weeks is when you can start handling more pressure. But if you train hard in the beginning, you will get so fucking sore, you would not want to go to the gym for the next 2 months. I'm not even joking. So be careful about this. Max intensity, 85%. Now this is a week 2. So we're really moving fast. Week 2, primary focus is adding more stuff. Okay, so you now have base. We talked about it. You now have base. You cannot build a house out of fucking sand. So you first need base. Then you're adding like logs, planks, and you're making the whole house. This is when you add sets, reps, weight, stuff like that, and you make this whole thing look 10 times better. And this is when people get stuck because people do build a habit. People do show up. People do actually, like a lot of people actually do this. It isn't that hard if you just train whatever you like to train. But what they don't do is they don't add more stuff. They don't challenge themselves enough. So the first week was just all about like, oh yeah, it's all hippie, funny and all this garbage. Now, second week is just doing more, okay? Doing reps, sets, weight, progressively overloading essentially. You're doing more stuff, right? And it's only get there once you build a habit, okay? Once you build a habit, you only get there. Before that, forget about the bullshit. Forget about progressively overloading until you can show up. Because if you start doing both things, I talked about it, start small. If you start doing both things, you'll just quit. I'm telling you right now, I did this myself. I made these mistakes. So every workout, you want to add just a bit more weight. So let's say 2.5 kilograms, which is about 5 pounds, 1 plate on a machine. You just want to progressively overload it slow. And you can even see here an example of this, right? So first 2 weeks, let's say you do 40 kilograms for bench press, and then you maybe like add 2 or 3 reps every single session. Then let's say the week 3, you just add 2.5 kilograms on each side, which in total will be 5 kilograms or 10 pounds, and you do for like 8 reps, right? You just progressively overloading. You decrease the reps, you increase the weight, you would then increase the reps, then decrease the weight, or decrease the reps and increase the weight. You get a point. It's really simple, and this is how you should progressively overload in almost every single scenario, right? And in the beginning, you can even add more weight in this because you're going to just exponentially grow like fucking, I don't know. I don't have a good analogy for this, but you're going to grow like a bamboo, because bamboo, like essentially they grow like, I don't know, 4 meters in just a couple of days if they're stuck underground for about 4 years. So that's pretty fucking cool. Second week is just also all about momentum, right? You're pretty much building the momentum. Now it isn't the full momentum because that is what week 3 is, spoiler. But you're essentially building up momentum to learn how to add more weight, okay? Because if you don't essentially learn how to add more weight, if you don't start building some kind of momentum, you will just never grow. People genuinely get stuck on this stage. They get stuck because they don't build momentum, and even if they do, they just for some reason just stop working out because it's like, oh well, I guess I cannot get jacked, and that is when people give up. Is because people have motivation. They use motivation for first like 3 weeks, and then they don't do this thing which I'm talking about right now, and they drop because there's no motivation anymore. But if you do what I'm talking about, which is fucking important, you're going to just out of a fucking thin water, just blow up. So the way you implement this, every workout, just doing more. That's it. Whatever it is, just don't do sets because they will take you too much time. Let's just say it like that. Week 3. So you survive danger zone. This is when people quit. This is when people are like, oh man, the gym doesn't really work. Whatever. This is when people quit, honestly. Now, at this point, your form is good. Everything is going nice and amazing. And this is when momentum starts taking off, okay? So, essentially, how can I explain this is you now have good form. You now have everything in check. You now have all the basics, okay? All the base is yours. And at this point, what you have to do is keep it up, okay? You please don't fucking slow down, okay? Please don't fucking, because this is the moment when you can get all of your noob gains. I literally mean this. You can gain all of your noob gains in first like 6 months for all the people, because depending on genetics, right? Somebody could just get jacked in like, or get all the noob gains, or most of them in like 3 months, depending on your genetics. But if you just keep this momentum, if you have a habit, form, you have this mindset I've talked about, every single one you have, and you progressively overload, bro, you're going to fucking explode. Like it's literally like a time bomb. At some point it will happen. Maybe not in the beginning, but at some point it will fucking happen. Trust me on that one. Next. It's like a snowball effect. So you just have this tiny snowball, you roll it up the hill, and there is a big fucking snowball and it just hits a target. That is how you should look at this. It's exponential growth. It's fucking important, okay? The reason why I'm speaking so enthusiastically about this is because people don't do this shit. Like people genuinely quit the gym or never progress because they don't challenge themselves. They don't train hard. They never go like they don't touch RP of 9 out of 10. You have to do that, okay? Now, not every single set, but at least one separate exercise. So if you do, I don't know, bench dips and let's say cable flies, at least 3 sets to full fucking failure. I know I'm sweating a lot, but it's important. And I want you to like ingrain this in your mind to just keep it up. Now, note, depending on how long it took you to build a habit, this can be delayed, which is completely fine. The point is that you never, ever, ever want to give up. Okay, even if making a base takes 3 weeks, I don't care. What I care about is you then having a good base, and when I put you the inputs, you can tolerate them. Okay, you can handle those inputs. Imagine having a business. Amazing example. Let's say you own some kind of software company that is about, like, I don't know, social media, whatever. Let's say you own Instagram, right? And let's say you start marketing this social media program, software, whatever you're using. Let's say it's Instagram. Now, if the software or the app doesn't fucking work and you're starting to like funnel people in, what will happen? It will crash. Exactly. You don't want to crash. You don't want to make this thing just crash and boom and burn and be there. You want to make sure you have a good base. So this can take some time, but please stick to this. Please. First, second, and third week are the most important weeks. They're literally like for the rest of your journey. Because what you put in the beginning, how you see it, how you breathe it and live it is really fucking important. Because honestly, bro, that is when people give up. Like if you just have a good mentality, if you understand what I'm talking about, if you implement stuff I'm talking about right now in this video, you can get there in no time. Next. And this doesn't work again. Week 4. Okay, so this is about learning about your body. Pretty simple, straightforward. Now, at this point, you wanna push to failure, you wanna train hard. You're pretty much training like I cannot say a typical bodybuilder because you're not. You're entrepreneur, you're somebody who has to save time. So you're pretty much like training, let's say 3 sets per exercise. You do maybe 8 to 15 reps. You don't really push too much to failure just the last set because you want to still keep the energy after the workout for your business. And by the way, like I didn't mention this, but you can train whenever you want, in the morning, first thing, or just don't train like last thing. Don't train like at least 3 hours before bed. That is like the only rule I have for you. It just depends on when you like it. If you like to train afternoon, or after all of your work, which I do, I prefer to train like that. You can do that. If you like it in the morning, fine with me. But at this time, you'll learn about your body, right? You're learning about different styles of the exercise, different grips, how can you perform it better. You're pretty much like maximizing all these small things that you missed in the beginning. So let's say, for example, you do lat pull downs and you just don't feel the stretch. Replace it with something else. For example, instead of this kind of bar, use V bar. And if that doesn't feel nice, then use something else you like. The point is that you just learn about your body. You're adapting the exercise to yourself, or you just completely change the exercise, depending on you. But you always want to like shuffle stuff. You always want to see what actually works. And also because this just makes it much more fun. Like I honestly, like if I just did the same workouts every single time, I would get bored as fuck. Like I would not go to the gym. I'd probably go, but I wouldn't enjoy it. Right? The point is to enjoy it, because if you don't fucking enjoy it, there's no fucking point in doing this shit. Right? Especially if all you do besides work is just gym. So always make sure you learn about your body. It takes time, it takes practice, but it's so fucking brilliant if you can master it. And again, it's important because in those weeks, you honestly, I cannot say you can give up because you're seeing the results, but you can kind of get bored and you will just not enjoy it too much, right? So just always have something you can learn about. Now, you don't have to watch videos, millions of those videos on fitness, but what you can do is just try something different. Try a different exercise. Whatever you want to try, because intensity is the king. If you cannot make intensity be the top priority of your lifting, then nothing else matters. And the best way you can have the most intensity if you genuinely fucking enjoy it. I know it sounds so like counterintuitive, like wait, what the fuck, how can that be true? But if you like something, you will push yourself to the ends of the fucking earth to make it work. Okay, so make sure that you always like your workout. And it even means sometimes changing up some stuff, honestly. Week 5, noob gains are catching up. Okay, you pretty much acquired a lot of your noob gains. Now, not every, because you cannot just get jacked in fucking, 2 weeks or 2 months. You can get good results in 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, 2 months. But at this point, you want to accelerate this process. Okay, so I talked about form, how many reps, how many sets, but at this point, it's all about adding these micromanagement things. So for example, long length partial reps. If you don't know what that means, it means you're training your muscle in the most stretched position. Drop sets. You finish a workout or you finish a set, you feel tired, you maybe did the failure, you can then lower the weight and just smack out even more reps to get even more pump, bigger pump, which means aka just more muscle. Now, it doesn't mean exactly that, but it's going to have a huge intensity. And as I said, intensity is the king, which means if you have more intensity, you'll build more muscle. That is, if you don't want to do like millions of sets and reps to make it a volume be the driving factor. Third, deep stretch. Important, because deep stretch is what actually builds muscle. And of course, mind the muscle connection, which is just fancy word of saying you actually feel the muscle as it's being worked. When you assemble all of these things together, you have the perfect base. Okay, so up to week 5, you literally have everything you need. Week 5 is like end of story. Now, there is some things I want to speak about in other weeks, but this is when like you pretty much have everything you fucking need to get jacked. If you click off this video right now, you can get 80% of stuff you need to know to get jacked, honestly. But there is still 20% you can actually use and get there, right? Now, note, I know it sounds maybe a bit complicated as I'm speaking so fast, and you just maybe it's just like for you too much information in one video. But that is why I have my coaching. And yeah, I know people will say, but you're trying to sell something. Yeah, because I want to actually fucking help you out. Like I can literally implement, or I can actually use all this knowledge I have and just put this out of you and let you fucking roll. Okay? If you think this is just too much information, this is too complicated, hit me up. There's a free call. It's completely free and it's just to see if we're a good fit. If you don't like it, okay. If you don't want to book it, okay. If you want to book it, there it is. You can just book it. Again, it's for free. Check out the times for yourself and book a call. Now for the implementation, you just want to focus on them one at a time. Okay, so you see long and partial reps, drop sets, deep stretch, mind and muscle connection. Just focus on one, because if you focus on too much of those, you will just drain yourself out. Because long and partial reps are typically used after the set. Drop sets, same thing. Deep stretch, you can kind of use in every single workout, in every single set. And also mind and muscle connection. But these two first ones, if you combine them for a lot of reps and a lot of exercises and sets, you can get drained. So just focus at least on one. Pick out one you like, one you think is better, and just stick with that. And of course, deep stretch you should always do, and mind and muscle connection you should also always do. Week 6, it's building blocks are done pretty much, and you know everything you need to build 80% of a muscle, as it just literally said. Now, analogy. As I said, you can just leave this video and you can get pretty much like a lot of knowledge you need to build muscle. A lot of knowledge. But there is also these 20% things you can add that are going to just add a sprinkle. Let's say it like that. So you have this, you can see this image of a jar with rocks, right? Well, on the left, you can see, I don't know who fucking did this, but you can see that this small, or I mean, it isn't really small, but this gravel or sand, or this is just the wrong color. You can see this gravel or sand, whatever this is at the bottom, it looks like gravel. It's taking a lot of space. It's the first thing that is in the jar, right? Now, the reason why I put this image is because it literally shows what people do. People love to focus on these 20% things. Now, I didn't mention supplements, as you can see. I didn't mention any kind of quick ways and hacks you can actually get jacked. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't mention these 20% things people really like to talk about. And that's because it literally doesn't depend on those. What depends are these big rocks that you can see are over here sticking out and that are really fucking important. This is why this person doesn't get jacked, okay? Why people don't get jacked is because the most important, crucial parts of their fitness are stacked outside of a jar, are not even inside of a jar. Okay, this is why people don't get jacked. Now you can see there is some things over here, whatever, but most important things are not in a jar. And you can see on the right, this guy has big fucking rocks inside, but there is also some kind of sand, gravel, just to make sure everything is smooth and nice, which is exactly what we're doing right now. I'm just teaching you what is smooth and what you can just apply, which is really fast, really simple to apply. It doesn't take a bunch of time, so you know what I'm talking about, right? But this is when you pretty much do just deeper research on nutrition, on some kind of nerdy stuff. If you don't want to do that, you can just watch my videos, because I do it myself and I just make videos on those things. But it's just honestly about nailing down as much as variables or inputs as much as possible, right? You're just pretty much just doing those 20% things that you would almost always leave lacking, if not even focus on. You're right now focusing on those because you have 80%, everything is figured out, everything is dialed in. It's just these maybe 20% things that can actually make drastic results if you know how to do them correctly, especially with your diet, especially with your training, how much volume do you respond to best. But it's, again, learning about yourself also a bit. So still, keep the momentum, still do everything, but understand that you will not see any kind of new belief-breaking information. I literally gave you all of those in this video already. Everything else is just about adding some more stuff, right? Now, the way you implement this is you learn about top-notch information, nutrition, which diet works best for you, what food should you eat, which part of the day, muscle fibers, type 1, type 2, these kinds of things is which you should then focus on. Now, you don't have to, as I said, you can just leave this video or just not watch. I cannot say not watch, but you can just not do the rest of the things. You can still get amazing results. And yeah, honestly, you can just do that if you really want to. But note, this is for somebody who just honestly just wants to maximize his health, performance, and energy. If you don't want, like, if you just want to get 8-minute rule of that, then do what I talked about. If you want to get jacked and want to get really there fast with a lot of health, energy, performance, then this is how you do it. You focus on week 6, which is just about learning top-notch information, some things you didn't know about dieting, watching even my videos that I speak about carnivorous diet, everything like that, right? Week 7, tracking stuff. Calories, weights you lifted, somewhat even your workouts. Now, I didn't do this personally, okay? So I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you really want to make sure your workouts are good and they're nailed down, track it down, literally. I don't track my calories. I track my workouts somewhat, and I know which weight I can lift. I mean, that is just because I literally pulled the fucking pin too many times that I know which weight I can lift. But the reason why this is such an important thing for some people is because you can spot a trend. You know, you can spot a trend when, for example, you are slowing down, you don't feel as good, you don't build as much muscle. Now, that will happen at some point, but not in the first two months, 3 months. You can spot a trend and you can repeat it over and over again. So if, let's say, you had an amazing week where you pushed yourself hard, you built a lot of muscle, your sleep was amazing, which also, by the way, if you want to improve your sleep, I have also a video on my channel about that. If you want to improve all these things, then you can just repeat it because you know what you did if you track. If you don't track it, you cannot do that, which is honestly just sad, but whatever. And it's kind of like having the X-ray in video games. Like, you know, maybe you didn't play this game, but I used to like play this game called Minecraft. And I mean, bro, the game that I played was such X-ray game. Like, you could literally just download a texture and just X-ray, get the diamonds. And I remember this one time, like, we used to play Minecraft on these kind of servers with my friends, and I downloaded this texture pack to like see the X-ray. And if you don't know what that is, you could literally see through the walls. Like, you can literally see through the fucking walls. It's insane. And so what I did is I would like make myself pickaxe, just like go in mine, get some ores. Okay, this is just popped up. Whatever, I would mine myself ores, and I would of course get diamonds, get the best ore at the time. And people are like, wait, how do you always get diamonds so fast? Whatever. And I was like, oh, because I'm just so good. And I was like, actually just fucking cheating and X-raying. But moral of the story, don't do the fucking thing, but whatever. The whole point is that if you track stuff, you literally have X-ray. You know how to get to where you want to go because you have a proven concept. So how you can actually implement this is a couple of ways. You can do progress pictures, progress photos, fitness apps if you want to do them. But you can also buy things like Aura Ring, or you can also buy, it's called Whoop. It's better, it's way better for fitness. I didn't link here the link for that, but it's called Whoop. So WHOOP. Fucking amazing. You should actually buy it if you really want to track your stuff. If you're somebody who loves to track and who's obsessed with that, then you can do it. Week 8 is focusing on lacking muscles. Again, same thing as just everything else we talked about. Like, you built 80% of things. Now those 20% that you lacked are just adding over time. Okay, and now you have to actually do them because you don't want to look asymmetrical, right? So for example, one muscle group that for me is lacking is my traps. And I'm doing 3 times more volume for my traps than I would do for my triceps, which are fucking huge, okay? And so the way you know this is lift, work out, see what grows the most, and then you can just supplement with other exercises to make the other thing grow bigger, right? It will take some time because you first have to actually grow muscle, you have to actually get bigger, and then you can know what is actually lacking. But for me, it's like traps. I would even say my bicep, but it isn't even that thing that is actually lacking. But I would say my traps definitely, my even quads a bit, because I just used to like run sometime, then I would get like quads fatigued, and I would skip like a leg day because of that, because I literally wasn't able to like train legs at all. And these kinds of muscles I have to train more because I'm lacking in those. And also, I mean, my calves are okay, but my hamstrings are not that good. So pretty much my traps, maybe a bit hamstrings, a bit quads, and that is what I supplement right now with, and I do much more volume for that than any other muscle group. And supplementation is just simple as you just see what's not growing and you just do it. Like, it's that simple. Like, that fucking simple. And of course, the week 9 or the last week is just, you just keep on learning. You literally just keep on learning, and there's nothing really much to say beside this. Okay? You get all the basics right and you just keep on learning. You just keep learning about yourself. You just keep learning about nutrition, other stuff, and you implement it. That's it. You try it. If it doesn't work, cool. That's it. Like, literally, that's it. I'm telling you right now, I gave you most of the stuff you need to know about building muscle in the first 3 to 4 weeks. Everything else is just 20%. You can keep learning in the terms of like, oh, which protein should I eat? Which I can tell you right now, just eat animal-based proteins, not fucking plant-based proteins that are like full of fucking phytic acid and all the garbage that you don't need in your system. But yeah, just implementation, find something interesting, cool, do it, see how it feels. If you don't feel good on that, don't do it. It's simple as that. Now the workout plan you can see over here, you can just screenshot this, do whatever you want with this. This can actually even be made bigger, but because you're somebody who's an entrepreneur, you have a bunch of time. I don't want to waste your time with some kind of garbage. This is what it will look like. Now you can also like add over here like a leg raise for 3 sets and like, I don't know how many reps, let's just say to failure, 2 times a week or 2 times and like push and pull. But it just depends on you, right? This is what I would do if I didn't have any fucking time, or I just had really minimal time in the gym. Now week 1, you pick out literally 3 to 4 exercises from each day. You can even do, if you want, like mix. So let's say 2 for push, 2 for legs, whatever you want to do. Just do something, okay? That is the first week. Do something. I talked about this. Anything you want, it will literally last for 1 or 2 weeks until you just show up. When you show up, then follow the plan, okay? Now week 2 is you slowly, progressively overload with each exercise you pick out, okay? So you pick out some kind of exercise, you try a bunch of things out, you see what you like on the first week or second week even. You try some things out, you see the form, you maybe there's not that good feel, whatever you want to do, then you start progressively overloading. Then you start adding more weight, more reps, then you really start getting like understanding the set and focusing on intensity and everything else you need to focus on. And that is when just stuff gets so much better, right? So you can see over here that, like, for example, dumbbell bench press, it can be 20 kilograms for like 8, then 10. And I'll tell you right now something before we go further. In the beginning, you will doubt yourself so much. I'm telling you right now, like, you can lift 50% more weight than you can think you're gonna lift. I know it sounds the same, but you can fucking do it, okay? So never, ever, ever be afraid to push to failure. Now, you don't have to push to failure because of your energy reasons, whatever you want to really focus on. But you can lift so much more. Like, don't be afraid. Oh, but I'm going to whatever. Don't be fucking afraid of that shit. Trust me. But yeah, week 2 it's all about slow progression. I talked about this. Find things you like, form, habit. It's all about just progression. Like, literally stepping the fucking door in. Week 3. Snowball. You start adding more stuff. You start doing more stuff, more sets, more reps, more weight. I talked about this already. You can even add some stuff if you want. 1 or 2 exercises, depending on how you feel about it. Week 4. This is when you experiment with a bunch of exercises. So for example, you do, I don't know, bench press or different grip on the exercise, different variations, squeezing on the side while doing it. Whatever you really want to do or try, you can do in week 4, okay? It's all about, making it kind of mind and muscle connection, making it suitable for you and adaptable for you. Week 5. At this point, you want to add additional intensity techniques like long leg partial reps, drop set, superset, deep stretch. These kinds of things in the workout I gave you before. So the general rule for maximizing intensity is finish it with drop set, astronomical stretch through the whole movement, right? So if you do like bench press, you want to have a huge stretch through the whole movement, which means every single rep you want to have a huge fucking stretch. And then, of course, isolation if possible for some muscle groups. Week 6, you start geeking out about some kind of better ways you can make this work, science, dieting. If you don't like it, again, you can just watch my videos, because I watch those videos and I just make them suited for you, make them in honestly like 10 times less time than other people make it. But yeah, you're still doing the main movement, but you're just slightly making it better for yourself. That's all you're doing, okay? You nail down your nutrition, you focus on all these other geeky stuff, which also, if you want to learn more about it, you can just watch my carnivorous video, which I think is fucking amazing. Week 7, you log your workouts, and honestly, like, I don't even do this myself. I mean, you can do it if you want, but if you're somebody who really likes to log his workouts and know where he's going, then fine, you can go ahead and track your workouts. I should probably also track my workouts, but honestly, I don't like doing that. I don't enjoy it, but you can track your workouts. But also, just like, don't track some kind of subjective measures. If you feel like, people say, oh, but I just barely was able to do like 9 reps, and the next time I'll do like 10 reps. These kinds of things never help you. Like, track what actually happened, not what could have happened. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't really want to, but I would say at least progress pictures. You should have that. Okay, at least progress pictures. Week 8, put more attention to muscle that you're growing. Okay, around 3 sets will be enough. Okay, for lacking muscles. If it's hamstrings, if it's traps, do more volume for muscle that is lacking. For example, if rear delts are lacking, do a rear delt fly, which is just pec deck on a pec deck machine or with the dumbbells. Do whatever you like or you want to do, but make sure you add more volume. And of course, the 9th is just learn more stuff, add more exercise if you really want to, see which sets, which reps work best for you. And as you can see, it's mostly about your subjective well-being, and it's mostly subjective. Like, if you genuinely fucking put yourself, or if you genuinely like find what you really like to do and what works for you, just keep it up. I have nothing against it. So if you want more amazing content, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I post some kind of stories now and then, pretty much every single day, but you can just follow me if you want to see more fitness content, more diet content, nutrition content, if you are interested. And of course, if you're somebody who is a busy and ambitious entrepreneur, CEO, who wants to get jacked, have more energy for his business, his, of course, better performance for the business, and just live healthier and better life in general, then book a call down below. Okay, it's completely for free. Now, I will say it is a sales call, and I will just see if we're a good fit. I will ask a couple of questions on where you are, what do you want with this program, what do you expect, some kind of things to see if we're a good fit. If not, adios amigos. Anyway, that's all I have to say, bro. Bye.